Hello students, I am Professor Ravi Prakash Patepur from Jain College of Engineering Department of MBA. Today we will be looking into Module 6 of Integrated Marketing Communication. So firstly let's see what is international advertising. International advertising means spreading of a commercial message to target audiences in more than one country. It is a communication process that takes place in multiple cultures that differ in terms of values, communication styles, and consumption patterns. It involves advertisers and the advertising agencies that creates ads and buy media in different countries. Now moving to international environment. The following factors are important in evaluating the potential of each country as well as designing and implementing a marketing promotion program. So the first one is economic environment, second one demographic environment, third one cultural environment, and the fourth one political or legal environment. So coming to the first one, economic environment. A country's economic conditions indicate its present and future potential for consuming. Products and services can be sold only in countries where there is enough income to buy them. Developed countries have higher incomes and standard of living and thus purchase a variety of products and services. Developed countries have infrastructure in terms of communications, transportation, financial and distribution networks. Though industrialized nations represent greatest marketing and advertising opportunities, these markets have stable population and many products and services are saturated. Second one, demographic environment. Major demographic differences exist among countries as well as within them. Marketers must consider income levels and distribution of income, age, and occupation distribution of population, household size, education and employment rates, and literacy rates. Demographic data can provide insights into the living standards and lifestyles in a particular country to help companies plan ad campaigns. Third one, cultural environment. Cultural variables marketers must consider include language, customs, tastes, attitudes, lifestyles, values, and ethical or moral standards. Culture or cultures influence needs and wants of consumers and also how they go about satisfying them. Marketers must be sensitive to the needs of products and services of the foreign cultures and also about how to communicate with them. Communication is very challenging due to problems associated in developing messages that will be understood in various cultures. International advertisers often have problem with language. Advertiser must know not only the native tongue of the country but also its nuances, idioms and sublatices. They must be aware of the connotations of words and symbols used in their messages and understand how advertising company and slogans are translated. And the last one, political or legal environment. Regulations differ due to economic and sovereign conditions or considerations. Goal of protecting consumers from false or misleading ads and sometimes from ads in general. Government regulations and restrictions affect the company's advertising program the following ways. The type of products that may be advertised, the content or creative approach that may be used, the media that all advertisers are permitted to use, the amount of advertising a single advertiser may use in total or in a specific medium, the use of foreign languages in ads, etc. Next, coming to decision areas in international advertising. So some of the decisions include organization style, agency selection, advertising research, creativity strategy and execution, media strategy and selection. So the first one, organization style. The question of how to organize for international advertising and promotion is dependent on how the organization is organized for international marketing and business. The three options are centralization at the home office or headquarters, decentralization of decision making to local foreign markets, and the third one, combination of the two. So the first one, centralization. In centralization structure, all decisions about agency selection, research, creativity strategy and campaign development, media strategy and budgeting are made in firm's home office. This is likely when market and media conditions are similar from one country to another. When company has only one or few international agencies handling all of its advertising, when the company can use standardized advertising, etc. Decentralization. Here the marketing and advertising managers in each market have the authority to make their own advertising and promotional decisions. The local managers can select ad agencies, develop budgets, conduct research, approve creative themes and select media. This approach is used when companies believe local managers know the marketing situation in their countries the best. It motivates the local managers. It is suitable for very small or a unique market. Coming to combination. Headquarters will have more control over advertising policy and operations in all markets. The international manager works closely with the local managers for promotion objectives, budget authorization, creative approvals and media selection. Local managers submit ad plans and budgets which are approved by international managers. Next is the second one, agency selection. There are three alternatives in selecting an agency. First one, choose a major agency with both domestic and overseas offices. It gives companies greater convenience and control and also facilitates coordination of overseas ads. Second one, choose an agency that rather than having its own foreign office or branches is affiliated with other agencies or belongs to a network of foreign agencies. And the third one, select a local agency for each national market. Local agencies with their deep knowledge about the local market are better equipped to develop the most effective advertising. They provide the best talent in each market. The smaller agencies may be willing to take more risk, develop the most effective and creative ads. Advertising research. Coming to advertising research. Research is important in international advertising as it helps managers make informed decisions. But research is not done by many companies due to its high cost. It helps in better understanding of the characteristics of customers in foreign markets. Next, coming to creative strategy or creative decisions. An important factor in the development of creative strategy is the issue of global versus localized advertising. If standardized approach is taken, the creative team must develop advertising that will transcend cultural differences and communicate effectively in every country. When companies follow localized advertising strategy, the creative team must determine what type of selling data or the selling idea, ad appeal and execution style will work in each market. The product may have to be positioned differently in each market depending on consumers' usage patterns and habits. And the last one is media selection or the media strategy. Media conditions vary considerably from one country to another. In less developed countries like Vietnam, Kenya, Egypt, etc., most consumers do not have contact with a marketer's advertising and promotion efforts until they enter a store. Packaging and other point of purchase elements rather than media ads will have greater impact on purchase decisions. Next, moving to internet advertising. It means using internet as a medium for advertising. It allows companies to create awareness, provide information and influence attitudes and is a direct response medium. allowing the user to both purchase and sell products through e-commerce. Next, coming to components of internet advertising. First one is www, that is World Wide Web. It is a network of servers which are linked to each other. It works on client-server arrangement, where a request is sent by the client to the server and the server provides information requested by the client. Web services hold a set of pages written in hypertext markup language, which is also shortly called as HTML. Each page has an address called as URL, Uniform Resource Locator, which consists of host's internet address followed by the location of the file on that particular server. Next component is email. It enables users to transmit messages or send and receive messages back and forth. Next is Internet Relay Chat, IRC. It enables users to talk electronically in real time with each other. Next, coming to Usenet. It provides a platform to share knowledge. Next is Gopher. It helps in retrieving documents. Next is servers. These help users to store and retrieve information. Browsers. They enable users to connect to internet and see web pages. Hypertext Transfer Protocol, also known as HTTP. It is a set of rules framed for interaction between the web browsers and the web servers. Next is modem. It helps in getting access to internet. Next, coming to advantages of internet. First one is target marketing. Web has the ability to target very specific groups of individuals with a minimum of waste of coverage. For business to business market, it resembles a combination of trade magazines and trade shows, as only those most interested in the products and services offered on the site visit the site. Second is message tailoring. As a result of precise targeting, messages can be designed to appeal to the specific needs and wants of target audience. The interactive capabilities of the net makes it possible to carry on one-to-one marketing with increased success in both the business and the consumer markets. Next one is interactive capabilities. Because the internet is interactive, it provides strong potential for increasing customer involvement and satisfaction. It provides almost immediate feedback for buyers and sellers. Information access. Internet users can find a plethora of information. Plethora in the sense a wide range of information about almost any topic of their choosing merely by conducting a search. The links within web pages help in getting additional information. Next is sales potential. Internet holds a huge promise for incredible sales in both business to business and consumer segments. In future also, the growth is expected to increase exponentially. A number of people who shop online has continued to increase. Next is creativity. Creativity designed or creatively designed sites can enhance a company's image, lead to repeat visits, and positively position the company or organization in the consumer's mind. Next is exposure. For many small companies with limited budgets, the internet enables them to gain exposure to potential customers that heretofore would have been impossible. For a fraction of the investment that would be required using traditional media, companies can gain national and international exposure in a timely manner. And the last one is speed. For users requesting information on a company, its product and its service offerings, the internet is quickest means of acquiring this particular information. Next, coming to limitations of internet advertising. First one, measurement problems. Here is a serious lack of reliability and validity due to variance in the statistics given by many researchers or studies. There are difficulties found in both measuring and forecasting in this particular medium. Second one, annoyance. At times, downloading information from the net takes a longer time. Having to install additional software, experiencing difficulty in navigation, and encountering other problems have led many consumers to permanently leave sites. Third one is clutter. As a number of ads proliferates, that is, number of ads come together or are being shown together, the chances of an ad being noticed decreases. Some ads may not get noticed at all. Consumers get irritated by the clutter. Studies show banner ads are losing effectiveness. Next is potential for deception. Internet enables advertisers to target children with subtle advertising messages. Data collection without consumers' knowledge and permission, hacking, and credit card theft are among the problems confronting internet users. Next comes privacy. Internet marketers must be careful not to impinge upon the privacy of users. And the last one is irritation. Studies show consumers discontent with clutter, email spam, ad pop-ups and pop-downs. Next, coming to types of internet advertising. So first one, banners. It is the most common form of advertising on internet. Banner ads may be used for creating awareness or recognition, entering viewers into contests and sweepstakes or direct marketing objectives. They take many forms and names like side panels, skyscrapers or verticals. Studies have shown a response rate of less than 1% in banners. Next is sponsorships. There are two types of sponsorships. First one, regular sponsorship. When a company pays to sponsor a section of a site. Next, coming to content sponsorship. That is the second one. Here the sponsor not only provides money in return for name association with participants, but also he provides the content himself. In some cases, the content may be provided by the site but approved by the sponsor. Next, coming to pop-ups or pop-unders. Pop-ups is a window that appears on the user screen to get his or her attention. They are usually larger than banner ads but smaller than a full screen. Pop-unders. These are the ads that appear underneath the web page and become visible only when the user leaves the site. There are different views among companies on the effectiveness of the types of ads. Research says 93% people find pop-ups ads as annoying. Availability of pop-up blockers have greatly reduced the effectiveness of these particular ads. Next is interstitials. These are ads that appear on user screen while they are waiting for a site's content to download. Although some users believe them to be irritating and nuisance, a studies found that 47% of the users liked them. Importantly, while the brand recall of banner ads were 51%, the ad recall of interstitials was 76%. Next is push technologies, also called webcasting. These allow companies to push a message to consumers rather than waiting for them to find it. They dispatch web pages and news updates and may have sound and video geared to specific audience or individuals. It is useful for executives who need to constantly monitor the happening on the market. Next, come to links. Here a user will click a link in or on one site to go to another site for additional information. This is not considered by many to be a type of advertising. Next is behavior targeting. It is based on advertisers targeting consumers according to their website surfing behaviors. by compiling clickstream data and internet protocol, that is IP information. Segments of potential buyers can be identified and ads directed specifically to them. Next, coming to paid search. It is by far the fastest growing form of advertising on the internet. Here the advertisers pay only when a consumer clicks on their ad or link from a search engine page. In an effort to specifically target customers that may be interested in their offerings, advertisers buy ads on search engine sites such as Google, Yahoo or MSN. Even small companies can compete equitably since they pay only when a user clicks on their ad. Next is contextual ads. Here the content of the web page is used by the advertisers for placing ads. Rich media. Rich media is a broad range of interactive digital media that exhibit dynamic motion, taking advantage of enhanced sensory features such as video, audio and animation. It has increased to be penetration of broadband after increased penetration of broadband. Types of rich media include online commercials, video on demand, webisodes, podcasting, etc. Next, coming to really simple syndication or RSS. It is specification of users that uses XML to recognize and format web-based content in a standard way. Content owners create an RSS feed which usually consists of titles and brief description of about 10 articles elsewhere on the site. The difference between web content and an RSS feed is that the latter can send out notification whenever new material is available. Alerts can be customized to the viewer's preference, which enables advertisers to disseminate information to those who are most interested. And the last one is blogs. A blog is a web-based publication consisting primarily of periodic articles normally presented in reverse chronological order. They may reflect the writings of an individual, a community, a political organization or a corporation. So next, coming to industrial advertising. Industrial advertising deals with information about business goods and services. Business goods and service include machinery, material, technology and processes to industrial producers and is very specified and concentrated. Next, coming to objectives of industrial advertising. It helps to improve the image among current and potential customers. It conveys technical information and specification of the product. It helps customers to know the product represented by the salesman better, which means it supports personal selling. It reduces the overall cost of selling by giving prior information on the products to the customers. Next, coming to special issues in industrial selling. First one, market related. Second one, product bar price and channel related. Third one, buyer related. And the fourth one, promotion related. First one, market related. Under market related, size and concentration of market. It is small with less customers. Emphasis is on personal selling, direct mail catalog, etc. Under market related only, the second one is each customer is large. This creates the need for knowledgeable salesperson to build relation with the customers. Third one, derived demand. The demand is indirect in nature. Fourth one, weak secondary data source. Compared to consumer, the secondary data is very less, or the data that is available in business of the secondary data is very less. Second one, that is product or price and channel related. Product specification. Products are technical and less frequently purchased. If the product is tailor made, that is, there is more pre purchase technical discussion and more post purchase follow up by the salesman. In this case, the salesman or the salesperson is crucial and must to have a execute a job perfectly. Second is negotiated prices. In industrial product, price negotiation is inevitable. Salesperson's role is extremely important. The pricing can be fixed only by interactive method. Third one, buyer related. In industrial buying, the decision is taken by buying centers. The process is as follows. Engineers identify the problem and give specifications or standards. Purchase manager negotiates with suppliers and evaluates several vendors. Finally, one vendor is selected and is recommended to the top management. And the fourth one, that is the last one, promotion related issues. The media vehicles are different from that of customer products. Trade publications, direct mail and catalogs are some of the popular medium. Direct mail is most popular since it allows for flexibility in tailoring the message. Catalogs are important for firm with standard products. Trade shows are used to generate sales or sales leads and to give information to prospects about new products. Thank you.